be good. I think it's working. Yes, it's working. I fixed it.
Awesome. You're awesome.
That was all
Okay.
thanks to Vanessa. I'm going to give Vanessa a gold star for that one. Vanessa totally fixed it.
Way to go. Okay, well, we're
Thank you, goodnesses.
and we're here, and that's what matters. We got through it. We didn't give up, and we definitely appreciate everyone's patience in this. But sometimes this is life, and you cannot predict when these types of things happen. So we made it. Awesome. So I just like to introduce myself and say hello to everyone that is here or maybe watching the replay. I am Paola Postiglione, and today I'm welcoming you to this webinar that Rachel and I are hosting. It's called Bring in the Love of Your Life, Activate Big Love Now. And I chose to bring in Rachel Hamer because she is an astounding woman who has a modality that's very unique. And I know some of you may be familiar with Reiki healing and the modality of how it's used, but I've had my own personal experience with different Reiki masters, but Rachel's was very unique, almost to a level that shocked me. Not almost, it did shock me. Not that I doubted or anything like that, but there was just some things, aspects about my own personal life that I had not shared with anyone that she pointed exactly for me. And that was like a revelation for me because it wasn't just something going on in my head and my private thoughts, but also something that was very real. And she was able to help validate that for me. And I know I sent you a little bit of a bio about her, so I know you can read the bio. And, you know, I'd like Rachel to kind of share in her own words her background. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Rachel Hamer. Hi, Rachel.
Hello, can you hear me? Yes, you can. Oh, this is so exciting. And first of all, thank you for everyone. I see a few people joining on, and that's so wonderful to me, especially since we had a little delay. Thank you so much for being here. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm so happy to be of service, most of all, to all of you, because I know you're here. I know that you went through all the technical difficulties and everything because you desire so deeply to bring in the love of your life. And I am fortunate in that I have been able to bring in the love of my life. And as far as my background, I'm a Reiki master. I've been a healer in general for, oh, yay. I have been a healer for 15 years, and it's always I've just been so on fire about helping people to heal from pain. I have a lot of people in my family who have gone through a lot of pain, as do most of us have family members, if not ourselves, who have gone through major pain. And that's part of my driving passion, just seeing how wonderful and healed and whole and safe you feel when you achieve real healing. That is my number one goal. And that's why I work with people. And I'm excited to work with you and be here with you. Yeah, Paula, should I jump into sharing my story?
Yeah, I think it's really important for people to see where some of these techniques have stemmed from in your own experience and how you called in your man into your life, because you've had some difficulties and challenges along the journey of finding the right partner for you, right?
Oh man, that's an understatement. Had very traumatic experiences in relationships. I started off young being with a man, well, I should say, maybe he was not quite a man, a boy, when I was very young, old, and we were together for a very long time, and it was not good. You know how they say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. Well, that's where I'm at with him. So yeah, it was a long journey with him, and then I went through a lot of ex-boyfriends. I dated for a long time. I did all kinds of through quite a lot. And at this time that I'm from Hawaii, and now I live in New York City, and that's a big part of my story. Is being willing to reinvent myself. And, that's where the techniques come in, is that techniques coming in is fine and good, but most important is your intention, really, and your willingness to reinvent yourself. And as much as you can, just willingness to let go of things that don't serve you, and to have faith that if something is meant for you, and it does serve you, that it will be in alignment with your life, and it will continue to be in your life. And if something goes, then that means that it wasn't meant for you. So anyway, that was part of my story. And I'm so excited to share my story about me and my guy, my Dan. He's the best thing that's happened to me. Sometimes I like to say, other than being born to my parents in the West and having the opportunities of a Western person, he's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
It's beautiful.
Jump right into telling you this story. It's really funny, actually, and I hope that you get a lot of humor out of this, because it's really hilarious if you haven't heard me tell this before. So I moved to New York City in part because I wanted to make a clean break from my old life, that other guy that I had talked about that I dated that was really bad. And I decided I was going to set myself up with a new opportunity and a new life. And so I decided that I was also, at this time, I decided that I was going to be well set up, and I was going to have for me, pretty much, things were going to work out, and that I was going to have everything, especially the rent, paid for in my apartment. And that was just something I set up for myself. And here's the first technique already that that I encourage you to do, which is just to infuse yourself with a deep knowing. Anything that you want. And I mean, it's not really easy for me to do too, either, rather. Just recently I'm trying to manifest free seats to first class in the air. Of course, that sounds like totally frivolous and ridiculous, but that's the next challenge for myself, to try to manifest a free first class ticket, because I've never flown first class, although I have traveled all around the world. And so, to insert a deep knowing into yourself that, like, yes, I am the person who gets this. I just am. And the more deeply you can feel that, so that's what I did at the beginning. And I just knew that I was going to be the girl who got her rent paid for. And so I moved to New York. The first thing that I did was I did Airbnb, if you know what that is. It's a wonderful thing here in any city or in any place where you have tourists. And I had guests, and so the guests would pay my rent. At the same time, I made a friend in a cafe because I was working at the cafe right down the street, and he was a neighbor, and he just lived in the apartment next door to me. And he and I became friends, and we started hanging out every day. And after I'd known him for about 2 years, he says to me, and spoiler alert, this is the guy who I end up with. So there you go. His name is Dan. And yeah, I had dated another guy, Dan, and his name was also Danny, so it gets a little confusing. But when I was breaking up with Danny, I realized that I had a lot of crap from everything that I had experienced before. I had a lot of things that did not serve me in my crap in my beliefs, and I just believed a bunch of things that did not serve me at all. And so that's one of the techniques that I'm going to teach you in a little bit, is how to resolve that. Because I resolved that, I did reprogramming on myself, and then I was going along, and this guy who I had been friends with for so long, he asks if he can move in. He says, "Oh, I'm just going to stay a couple months, I'm not going to stay that long, and I just need to find a new place to live." And so I say, okay. So he moves in. Well, lo and behold, the guy actually stays a year. And we're friends, I'm dating other people, like I'm doing everything I do. And at the end of if we hang out, we go out to dinner or whatever. At the end of the night, I go to my room and he goes to his room. Oh, I forgot to say that he asked to move in. And But I said, no way, dude. You can't move in because the Airbnb guests pay the whole rent. And you're not moving in unless you pay the whole rent. And he says, no, I can pay the whole rent. I'm good for that. So there
Nice.
you go. That's how my rent got paid for, even though it wasn't at first the romantic part. But he pays my rent. He lives there for a year. And then after a year, my landlord wants to send in the exterminator. And I say to him, the room, so the exterminator comes, it'll be nice and beautiful for him. And Dan says, yeah, okay, no problem. I'll be out for the day. Also, and here's the other technique that we're going to practice, the one that I'm most excited about. We are also going to practice what I call alignment creation, because I had been doing alignment creation and I had been programming into my emotions that which I had been programming into my emotions that which I wanted to experience in my love life. And that is what we're going to do a little later. And so I had done this alignment creation, an actual process, like I said, which I'm going to be showing you by example today. I had been doing that for a while. I had done it a few times to really get into the feeling of what it was like. And anyway, so there I am, and I go and I clean Dan's room, and I go to start this task, and I open the door, and lo and behold, the guy is still living out of boxes, because of course he thinks he's leaving any second. Ha! So I go in there and I start to just unpack him, because I'm like, you can't be living this way. This is not cool. So I mean, with the best of intentions, of course, now in hindsight, I realized that was a little invasive, but I went and I unpacked all his stuff after the whole day. And he says, oh my gosh, where's my room? What has happened? No one has ever gone through my stuff before. And he starts to have a little panic attack. And I didn't expect that, but you know, it happened, and he was panicking, and I suddenly like started to feel really sad for him. I'm like, oh man, I really didn't want to, what can I do? How can I make this better? And he said, well, I don't know what you can do to make it better, but you know, if you want, you can distract me. And I said, oh gosh, after so many years of knowing me and being my friend and a year of living with me, what could it be that you possibly don't know? There is one thing. In the back of the closet, I have a suitcase full of costumes full of costumes. And he said, like Halloween costumes? I said, no, not like Halloween costumes, like, you know, the naughty nurse, the sexually overcharged flight attendant, the Playboy bunny, the dominatrix, you know, the fun ones. And he's like, oh, I don't think I like those costumes. And I said, well, that's because you haven't seen it the way I do it. And he said, oh, really? Why don't you show me? And I said, okay, well, show you now, because that's the only thing I can do to help you feel better. And so I go back in the room and I put on Naughty Schoolgirl #1. And then I come back out and I say, oh, the costume. And he's like, okay, so. And I said, well, you know, I do this dance. And he said, and so you guys, this is how hard in the friend zone I was at this point. I was so hard in the friend zone. I was literally standing in front of the guy. And I was like, really? You want to see me use it? Even though, like, you're the person I hang out with most. You're the person that I'm like, you know, and now you just want me to, like, show you the sexual dance? I don't know. All right, fine, I'll do it. That's how hard I was in the friend zone up until that very moment. And into my room, I turn on the special music. I come back. I do the dance. It's like a burlesque thing. And I get to the end. I get to like the last layer. And I thought, well, we've been to the pool together already. This is cool. And I say to him, okay, well, that's it. You've seen the dance.
Yeah.
And he's hanging there with his mouth, sitting there with his mouth hanging open, like, why did you stop? And I said to him, because, Dan, at the end of the dance, I get laid. And he says, well, that's okay. And, you know, the crazy thing was that I wish I could say like, and I went back into dance mode and I finished the dance and we made passionate love. That is not what happened, not in any way, shape, or form. Then it was my turn to have a panic attack. I thought to myself, oh my God, here's this guy, and he's obviously hit me like a ton of bricks in that moment. He's a perfect choice. He's so amazing and so great. And I am already so compatible with him. And he's seen me not do the dishes at night. And he's seen me like trying to do my yoga every morning. And he's seen me coming in after a date crying over another man. And now he tells me that we could be a thing. And I panicked. And I sat there for an unknown amount of time in my underwear and high heels and the debris from cleaning his room on the living room floor. Until finally, would you like to go on a date tomorrow? And I said, yes.
I love that story. And I think it's so important to really share that because, for one, you didn't even realize the potential that laid right before you with this person. And, you were in the process of like doing something else for a different situation where it became like a revelation for you in that moment where like everything shifted for you. Like those negative beliefs you had about, the ideal partner and how to get a partner. Even the patterns that you had with the types of men that you were attracting into your life were like shattered in that moment. And obviously, it was able to lay a foundation for you in the work that you do to help repattern and unblock your own clients when they're not able to kind of see what blocks they may have that prevent them from calling in and bringing in the love of their life, hence activating that kind of love. And it's interesting that in our life experiences like yours, that it happened like so instantaneously. It was almost like all this rewiring was happening into creating a new path. So this is such a great story. Thank you for sharing that.
You're absolutely welcome. And then, just as a caveat, or as a follow-up to that, I went back and kind of thought about my life. And for a long, I always had a close friend who was like smart and handsome and rich and his self and strong and everything that my Dan is to me. I've had friends in my life, like going back a long way, pretty much always. And I'm not saying that you necessarily have already met the guy or woman that you're going to be with. I just mention that because it's like, wow, how I literally had this person under my nose and I could not
see it.
He was, until my programming was correct, until my emotional landscape had been cleared enough so that I could receive him, and until I was energetically aligned to him. And so that is what we're going to teach today.
Yeah, definitely. So tell us, Rachel, I know you've mentioned about having a deep knowing, about really feeling it on a visceral level instead of like a logical level and trying to figure it out. And then also really like looking at those negative beliefs that don't serve you and turning them around. So what's the first process or first step into this process of bringing in the love of your life?
Thank you for prompting me to go to the first step. So everyone, take out your journal. I have this one right now, which I decorated myself. So get out your journal and get ready. And I want you to take your pen here. Yeah, with all the technical difficulties, I was getting distracted from doing the things I asked you all to do, but here I am. So get your journal out, and you can finish this process later, but if you don't mind, I'd like just to start it with you right here, right now. So I'm gonna have you open to a blank page spread like this. And then on the left, make the title at the top say, beliefs about my partner, or old beliefs about men, or old beliefs about women, or whatever suits you best. Old beliefs about and then put down, then you can start by just putting 1 or 2. Just put, so for me, when I was breaking up with Danny, I call him Danny 1.0. Anyway, when I was breaking up with Danny 1.0, that guy, you know, I had a bunch of things. So some of the things that I wrote down on this list were, men don't like my body. Men are naive. Smart men do not love me or cannot love me. Like, just the worst things that I could think of that are maybe I don't want to believe them, but somewhere deep down inside I might believe these things that are like the worst things that I could have the potential to believe. So I want you just write down 1 or 2 right now. But this list should be exhaustive. This list, you should take your time to do this later and just really write down every single thing that you believe about what could be blocking you from bringing this person into your life. So write down everything. And then you're going to flip to the other page. And then on the other page, you're going to write new beliefs about my partner, or insert your favorite word there. New beliefs about. And by the way, you can also do this process with money, with career, with family, with any aspect of your life. This is not limited just to love, although this is the modality in which we are exploring it today. But I have done this for many, many different things in order to get my love life and my life in order. So yeah. So new beliefs. And then what I want you to do is look at that first thing. So for me, it would be men don't love my body. And I want you to write the exact opposite on the other side. Go to the other side and write men love my body, or absolutely love my body. Or if you put men, something like men are naive, or women are naive, or future partners of mine are naive, then write the opposite. Future partners of mine are wise. If you wrote, you know, I can't bring in someone worthy of having me, right? I can bring in someone worth having me. So whatever it is, just write the exact opposite on the other page. Okay? Now, when you have this new list, the next thing that I advise you to do is take a picture of it with your phone. Cha-ching! Just like that. And go ahead and put it, you know, make a copy of it if you want to, and put it on a paper and carry it around. And whenever you have a chance, the more you can do this, the better it is. So can you feel into, just pick one maybe, you know, smart men love me. Okay, smart men love me. Let me, what does it feel like when a smart man is really in love with me and we're having conversations and we're talking about everything under the sun? And when I mention Franz Kafka, he's familiar with that, who that is, because he's probably read him, because he's well read and well educated. Like, how does that feel when I'm with that man? Wow. And so that is the infusing of these new beliefs, because it is important to just write it down, and it is also equally important to spend time with them. You know, just spend time with each one of those beliefs and infuse them with your intention, and just by feeling what it is. Because, and now I'm sort of, I hope you don't mind, Paula, I'm going to be giving just a little talk about how manifesting works. So if you don't know the law of attraction, or how manifesting works, or what I mean when I say your thoughts become things, or your feelings become your life, I really encourage you to educate yourself. But I presume that most of the people who are on here already are at least somewhat familiar with what I'm talking about. So that's why we do this. We take that feeling of what we hope to attain and focus on it as if it were already happening. Like, what does it feel like when that is true? How does that feel? How does it feel in my body? You know, Greg Braden tells a great story about a shaman. He brings the shaman to the field to pray for rain, and the shaman's there for like a second, Then he turns around and gets back into the car, and the guy's like, wait a second, I thought you were going to pray for rain. And he said, I would never pray for rain. Praying for rain affirms that it is not so. What you want to do, he said, what I did was I felt the mud under my feet. I felt the water going down my skin. I smelled the smell of the arid desert after a heavy, heavy rain. I heard the lightning and the thunder as the rain came pouring down. And of course, like within half an hour in Gregg Braden's story, there's a torrential downpour. And he said, I felt what it was like in the storm, and was banging down and just coming down in torrents. And then I thanked God that it had already occurred. I thanked God that it was already happened. So this is basically a very easy way to do that, because you have to get to those new things that you want to believe, and that's the first technique. That's number one. So everyone, you can do this over and over again, and this by itself is super powerful manifesting technique. And also for clearing away your blocks, you can clear away almost all your blocks just by doing this. And very simple.
I have a question for you, Rachel, about writing these beliefs and posting them around. So is this something that you would probably create as like a ritual, perhaps every morning, that you look at these new beliefs about love, so that you take time each day, every day, to really viscerally feel, to, have it come from that visceral level instead of a logical level, to put yourself in that knowing or in that experience of having your love of your life in the room with you, or in the bed with you, or hugging you, or getting ready to go to an event together, or spending holidays together, things like that?
Yeah, I actually, for me personally, I come from an artistic background, so I like to be really creative with the way that I do things. For this particular process, I had set myself up to do it whenever I took the subway. So whenever I took the subway, whenever I was sitting there on the subway, I'd dig into my purse and dig out my little paper, and then I would just sit with one of those thoughts during the length of the ride of the subway. So that's how I got it in. If you are a person who likes morning ritual, absolutely, that is a great way to do it. I find that for me, associating it with another activity that I did regularly was the way to go. But each person gets to make it work for them.
Nice. I like that. Incorporating it into your daily life to activate big love now. That's awesome.
That's it.
So
that's what we're doing.
So what's the second process after writing your beliefs about it?
So the second thing that I want to talk about is this alignment creation, right? That's the second thing, right? We're doing the alignment creation second. Okay, just checking, because as you know, it's electronically go bye-bye. So I thank you, Paola, for being such a awesome, organized, wonderful hostess, and helping me when my technical difficulties get the better of me. So yeah, I'm going to talk about alignment creation. So I believe that there are three aspects which we really need to pay attention to for the change and bringing in of anything. And like I said, the last process works well for anything in your life, and this process also works well for nearly anything you want to do in your life, whether it be bringing in the love, bringing in the money, bringing in the job, your loved ones. Like, it can be almost anything that you can do for this. So basically, we have a certain way we feel about something, and when we feel into that aspect, it is going to be pretty clear to you how you feel about it. And make no mistake, how you feel about it is how it will be for you. If you, and I think you intuitively will know what I mean when I say, if you have bad feelings, for instance, about your job, and that just perpetuates more bad feelings about your job and more inability to make it good. So your crappy job goes on, goes along its way, and you continue to feel crappy in it, and it continues to be crappy. This is the cycle. And what we're going to do now is the actual process to break it up. So I'm going to be guiding you in what I call an alignment creation. So this is getting into a daydream-like state. That is the best way I can describe it. And what we're going to be doing is emotionally giving the blueprint, giving the command, or emotionally giving instruction to our future of how we want to feel. So the emotionally giving of the instruction, it could be, for me, when I think about, and even if you already, for me, for instance, since I have already manifested the love of my life, I can go in and affirm that it is there in the same exact way. So I can feel affirmed that we are so in love, and feel affirmed that our bodies just fit together, and feel affirmed that how wonderful I feel now that I'm in love. And so I'm going to take you on a journey. I'm going to ask you to be in a quiet space, to be in a place where you're feeling comfortable, whether that be lying down or sitting in your chair. And I'm going to have you take some deep breaths, and yeah, we're going to go into it. And there should be any minute now a free gift link popping up on the website, and the free gift, to put your email in there, and then you can receive the free gift, which will be this alignment creation guide. And you can go ahead and you can put your link in. I'm going to make it into a beautiful track for you so that you can listen to this over and over again, because the more times you do it, and the more strongly you infuse your own personal feelings into it, the more powerful it will be. And just one thing that actually I've never told anyone this, I think this is really fun. When I did this the first time, the very first felt into this, literally, like, there were, every single man I saw on the street just looked at me, just action. It was powerful. I did this exact technique, and I'm gonna, I saw your Nola to have everyone close their eyes, and yeah, we're going to get into it just a sec, but just to let you know, when I did this, which helped me to attract in Dan, it really, really worked. It really worked. So powerful for you as it is for me. Close your eyes, and we'll begin. Take a deep breath, and hold it, and let it out at your own pace. With my eyes closed, I go deeply, deeply, deeply into relaxation. Starting at the top of my head, I feel the relaxation coming down toward my crown, making everything it touches just so relaxed, like a wave of beautiful blue energy, like a wave of happy feeling that just comes down, relaxing me so completely. Now it's down by my jaw, relaxing me, and it goes further down, relaxing my throat, my neck, my head, and my shoulders relax. My torso relaxes, and my adrenaline become very, very relaxed. I release all the energy in my legs, and I feel it flowing out down toward the ground, and now my entire body is very relaxed. And as I sit, I look around and I realize that I have an adventure to go on. And it's just as I see this, I look forward and I see a carpet, a beautiful carpet. And I know this is a magic carpet, and it's come to take me to a place where I can connect to the love of my life. And I step forward onto this carpet, and the edges flare up with a slight wind. And I sit on this carpet, and it gently lifts me into the air, and I feel secure, and I feel wonderful, and I feel happy that I am going on this beautiful journey. And I go and I see beautiful streams and valleys and rivers. I pass mountains and villages. I pass forests, and I pass beautiful swaths of earth covered with flowers. We are going higher. We're going higher, deep into the blue, deep into the great beyond. And the stars come toward me, and the earth fades behind me as I go deep into the deep blue. And as I go deep into the blue, I know that I am crossing the threshold into my deep own subconscious, deep into my own feeling. And I am going there to align to something wonderful and someone who makes me whole. And just as I think this, I see before me a beautiful arch made of clouds. This arch, and I go through it into a beautiful cloud-filled palace. This cloud-filled palace is so gorgeous, and it's covered in sparkling energies of the most beautiful colors. And all of the feeling here is wonderful and excited, and it seems to be a place of pairing where people come to join together. And I continue through this amazing palace slowly on my magic carpet. And toward the end of this path, I sense a presence, a beautiful presence. And I come toward it, and I do not see a face or figure, but I feel this presence. And I invite them to come onto my magic carpet. And together, we sit on the carpet, and I feel them. I feel this beautiful presence beside me, and I feel complete and whole. And I feel beautifully aligned. And we just fit together. We just go beautifully together. It is like I feel complete and whole. And this person not only accepts me for the deepest being of who I am, but they love it. They love who I really am. There's no need to hide or change or feel that I am somehow imperfect, because for them, I am perfect, just as they are perfect for me. Our bodies fit together, and we feel so comfortable in one another's presence. It's just like my perfect partner. They're a complete fit for me in every aspect. There is no better possible energy that could be between us, and I feel so complete. And they tell me, I love you. And I say, I love you. And we together feel in love, and we feel so compatible. It's easy to communicate with them. They are so open and willing to hear me. They support everything that I do, and they are there for me 100%, as I am there for them. We have a beautiful life trajectory that goes together through the days and the months and the years, and we suddenly see our future laid out before us. A beautiful storybook fairy tale filled with delights, filled with adventures that we too get to experience together and know that we are meant to be together through many, many long moments of life. And now, feeling so grateful that we have made contact and that we are connected deeply, I turn to my future partner and I say to them, thank you for coming all this way to meet me. It is such a wonderful pleasure to be with you. And they turn to me and they say, so excited to meet you and be with you in our real bodies together in life. And we feel how wonderful it will be when we are together. We give thanks that we are together, and we give thanks that we are completely, deeply connected on every level. And now that it is time to slowly return to our own lives so that we can watch the story of our meeting each other come to fruition in real life. And my partner gets off the carpet and says, can't wait to be with you very soon. And I turn around on the carpet and flow out of the castle through the arched gates. And as I go, I feel connected still. I feel a strong thread of connection with my partner, unbreakable and unseverable, continuing to bind us in this world and continuing to bind us in the real world. As I come back through the forests and valleys and the beautiful rivers and streams, back seeing my neighborhood, back to my building, back to my house, back into my body where I sit. And slowly, knowing that I have accomplished a great connection with this person who is my future, I gratefully open my eyes on the count of 3, 2, 1. Whew, that was good.
That was beautiful. Wow. I have like the chills. It was very carefully guided, very gentle, and it was still leaving space to use my own imagination of what that looks like for me. So thank you so much for taking us through that. I think it's so important to take time to use our imaginations because it's very powerful in helping us viscerally feel and call in, the love of our life. So thank you so much, Rachel.
You're so welcome. And that was great. I mean, that was really powerful for me too. I'm crying. I don't know if you can see, I have some
I noticed.
like moistening of the eyes here.
But to me, having an emotional connection to the alignment creation is important part of having that deep knowing that you talk about. And, I think it's important to highlight, like, when we can recall a memory so much so where it brings back those same emotions as we're experiencing it again, like it's happening right now, is really powerful, which goes into like manifestation and the law of attraction and perpetuating those same experiences for yourself. So just as much as it can be helpful, it also can be a vicious cycle if it's, a negative belief. But we want to teach techniques that will positively reinforce you to keep focusing on, the good things that you want to create, even if they have yet to materialize in your life. And the alignment creation process that Rachel has taken us through is a very good tool and a good example of that. I mean, I'm sure we all have our own emotional reactions or responding to this alignment creation unique to us. So I think it's super important.
I should also say, just to kind of finish off the story that I was telling earlier, you know, a lot of people ask me, well, like, how do you know that, you know, it's the partner for you? And I can tell you that for me, I was doing this exact process. I did this exact process, and I really was able to feel what my partner was like. And then after Dan and I discovered each other, in that story I just told you, which hopefully was funny, you know, we went on a cruise. He took me on a cruise, and I remember so clearly standing there on the deck of the cruise, and I looked over at him, and it clicked like a puzzle piece, clicked in that that feeling that I had had during the alignment creation was the exact feeling I had when I was with, and it was so clear to me. And I mean, I know that I'm really good at sensing these feelings, so I've been practicing sensing feelings for a long time, but it was so clear to me. I think that it could be clear to anyone. It was like knowing that a color is red, just so clear.
Right, right. I love that you said practicing sense and feeling consistently. And so you were able to acknowledge when that moment materialized in your reality. So that's beautiful.
Indeed.
Yeah. And the third step in this whole process with working with Rachel is a Reiki reading. And I would love to be in the hot seat to just kind of give you a representation of that. It's going to be real, you know, for all of you. And of course, I invite you to take a step further into reaching out with Rachel for your own personal Reiki healing with Rachel, because I think it is so valuable in what you want to create. So, for example, if you're having a hard time being able to be fully present in the alignment creation because you may have some blocks in certain energy centers of your body, also known as chakras. This is proven. It's not esoteric. And I'm sure Rachel can go into a little bit about the statistics and facts about Reiki healing. But if you're having blocks and you're not sure why you're not able to get into the alignment creation process or really get into the visceral process of, you know, sensing and feeling, then I recommend and encourage you to book a reading with Rachel. So, well, without further ado, because I know they really want to watch, Rachel, I'll let you take the lead now.
Thank you so much, Paola. And I'm excited to do this reading on you. It's always fun. So what's happening for me is it's like I see, although this is what I like to call in my mind's eye, or you could say imagination. In my mind's eye, I see a little chart of Paola, as I will see a little chart of anyone who I'm working on, who's given me permission to look at them. Little chart, and then I'm able to see literally into their chakras. So for instance, one thing that I often see is energy here in the throat area that's blocked. And when that happens, know that it's because the person is not speaking their truth. And that could be a huge block to bringing in the love if you're not able to talk to the person who is your, you know, potential partner, because you get so nervous, for instance, and you're blocked in the throat and you can't speak those things that will say like, hi, would you like to talk to me? Then it's going to be very difficult for you to bring in that person. So that's what I can see. And it might not be that. There's energy in each of the 7 chakras. Each of them represent a different aspect of life. It can be your family life, it can be your physical body, it can be your heart center, your love center itself, it can be your wisdom center, that you have blocks. And that's what I love to do, is look at you personally and look at how we can take those blocks and rebalance them, take out the blocks, rebalance each of your chakras so that it can be healed on an energetic level, so that you can actualize the things in your real life. And then also, I channel direct from your higher self, direct from your own personal divine guidance, the suggestions for what to do. And that's one of the things that a lot of my clients like the most. They want to know what their guides are saying. They want to know personal divine guidance has for them. So let me go ahead and get started, and you'll see what I mean. And I'm just going to connect in, although I'm still quite connected from that alignment creation, because that was so juicy and so wonderful. And I'm going to go and look for you, Paola. I see you. There you are. Okay. Let me see where you're at today. Ooh, I see a big swelling of energy here in the solar plexus for you, Paola. I see that you're doing a lot of things right now that are pushing you beyond your normal comfort zone, and that are requiring you to be bigger than you have ever been, because the solar plexus is where the energy is for your own sense of self, your willpower, your it lies right between the soul, the sacral, and the heart. And so the sacral is your ability to create whatever you're creating, whether that be a webinar series or a child or a new opportunity for yourself. Anything is created from that space. This is for both men and women. For women, obviously, because we have that biological component. But the sacral chakra, which is the second one, is where we create from. And the solar plexus is the sense of self. So I see that there's a swelling coming from that sacral into the solar plexus, and actually see not a block, but a little bit of slowing down between that and the heart. And so I'm going to just do a little clearing on you really fast so that I can clear out that energy, because your sense of self and your heart should be communicating completely freely, so that you can allow the desires of your heart to actually come true and not be inhibited in any way. So it's not, like I said, completely blocked right there. It's just like there's a little inhibitor, and I want to yes, your divine guidance says definitely that can be opened up at this time, and that will help your heart's desires to be brought into this world in a way that is balanced with everything you got going on. So yes, that is very good. Okay, I see also little block there on the root system, in the root, just a little block there. The root is to do with home and family and your basic things for your life. And so I feel that there's just a little blockage there. And I don't think that I'm going to do like a lot of removing on that. Yeah, the divine guidance says to just put some healing energy on that, and that's something that you get to do for the root chakra, which is very good. So giving some healing energy there. Yes, that is wonderful. And that's kind of a mini reading. That's a mini sample of a session that we might do. Of course, a full-length session takes much longer to do a lot of healing, but for the purposes of this webinar, that's the hot seat. I don't know how that resonated with you, Paola, everything I just said.
Yeah, it does resonate with me, and I know I've had a full reading with you, and I know how private these things can be too, so I do respect you. I do appreciate you respecting some of those things as well. But I can put the pieces together and what you're saying, And I know that with the full reading that I did have with you, it, like I said earlier in the beginning of the session, but for anybody who like missed it and is tuning in now, it was definitely an eye-opening experience and invalidated a lot of feelings that and beliefs and ideas that were kind of swirling in my mind, and to be able to speak about it with someone who could see it and then who can have a conversation with me about it, now that it was kind of made known publicly to like my conscious mind, even though my subconscious mind knew all about it. So yeah, it definitely felt safe to be seen in that way with you, Rachel. And it was more than just like, okay, you got this going on. I healed it. Goodbye. It was also like, you know, we had a conversation. You gave me some really valuable wisdom and insight as to, you know, what are the next steps for me. And it gave me a lot to think about in terms of like what I could do with this new information that's being brought up. And out, and not so like, you know, dark and secretive and, you know, taboo to talk about, and more like, hey, it's going on, it's real, your feelings are validated about it, and here's what you can do next about it. So, and that aspect, I encourage people, if this aligns with them and if it resonates with them, to definitely book a session or a chat, a call with Rachel. And, you know, you can look at her website. You can read some of the testimonials that she has. She has many testimonials. And, you know, Rachel, maybe you can go into what this, what the free gift is and what the call process would look like with you.
Yes, absolutely. So there should be on the broadcast page, there should be a little, oh, I think I got an echo. I hope, could you mute yourself briefly, my dear? Thank you. Yeah, so I have, there should be a link there. You can type in your email, and that will just enable you to get an actual copy of the alignment creation that I did. I'm going to take the audio from that. I'm going to make it into an actual track, an MP3 that I'm going to give to you for free, and I'll put some music on it and make it even more easy to enjoy and pleasurable for you. So go ahead and put your email in the box. That would be the free gift, one of the free gifts. And the other free gift that I'm offering is a chance to get on the phone with me so that you know, we can work together to channel your personal divine guidance. And I can do I would love to do a diagnostic call. It's completely free. There's no money involved, no obligation to do this free diagnostic call, just so I can take a look at you energetically and I can see where you might benefit from even deeper healing, and do just what I did on Paola as a diagnostic healing. And a lot of really personal things can come out. It's like I can just email, it's like your, sorry, I saw the word email on there, distracted me. It's like I get an email though from your divine guidance. It's like they just start talking to me and tell me everything that, you know, I specifically ask that I receive the answers and the things that you need to know that they want you to know. And so I really look forward to showing you the benefits of working with a healer, helping you to feel safe and whole and relaxed, so that as you go through your life on this daily basis, you can be showing up in your life in an incredibly and safe and healed way, and that you can feel in alignment with your partner, that you can bring them in and you can have that life that you really desire with them. And also, of course, I work on other things as well. I work on any aspect of your life that could be of use to you to improve. That's definitely something that I do. There's nothing I love more than to be able to give you the direct answers to that. When we go into that channeling space and when I am able to hear your guidance directly, telling me the best course of action for you, there's no better thing that I love to share with you, because it's so clear to me and so valuable for you. So as a bonus to being on this webinar, you get a free diagnostic appointment. There's a link at the bottom of the screen, or if you scroll down past the screen, there's a link that says book now. It should have a little clock by it. Or if you have a problem with that, you can just email me, Rachel@clarityreiki.com. Paola did put that email URL in there. That's RACHEL@clarityreiki.com. If for some reason the link isn't working there, just get in touch with me. I would really love to, guides have to say, and channel real powerful healing into your life, so that you can reap the benefits and feel amazing and whole and renewed and safe.
Thank you so much, Rachel, for everything that you've given. You're very generous, and I know everybody tuning in will agree with me. And again, you may contact Rachel by clicking on the link on the page, or if you have a question, a personal question that you'd like to ask, you can email Rachel at Rachel, RACHEL @clarityreiki.com. And yes, and then I'm just going to give maybe a few more moments. If anybody else has questions now live, you're welcome to ask. If you scroll to, I believe it's to the left of your screen, because it's Google Hangouts, there's a little box. If you scroll with your mouse, it says chat. If you click on it, the chat box will pop up on your right side of the video screen, and then you're able to actually chat message or a link in there, and it will show up as a question for all of us to see. But
I can't see any questions, but maybe if there are some, you can read them to me.
Yeah, I don't see anything yet, but also if you feel like it's more of a personal question, that's totally fine. You can email Rachel or myself. You have my email already, and you can send a message that way. And I don't think we have any questions, which is fine. We have the encore, and sometimes it's a lot. What we just went through was a lot, so maybe it needs to just like settle a little bit more and get a little bit clear later. So,
well, thank you, Paola, for being such a gracious hostess, and for being so wonderful and helping me more than anything through the first 10 minutes while I was panicking a little bit, trying to get the technical issues resolved. And thank you for being so amazing, Paola.
Well, not a problem. Hey, it happens to the best of us, and we still got through it, and we showed up. So we were able to, show up for the people that really needed to hear these messages today. So thank you, Rachel. Thank you,
Vanessa, who found the link that was working on YouTube and gave me the URL on Messenger. Only by her, I know, did it actually happen. And really grateful, Vanessa, for having been there with me in support, and the community that I'm in is just so amazing, and part of that. And so, yeah, so any questions so far? Are we complete?
Yes, we are complete. Thank you, Rachel. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Paola.